Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Tasha M. Scott. I am the owner of Maximized Growth LLC and the founder of the Connected Women Win movement. And y'all, I am passionate about two things, about connection and growth. And I am on an all out mission to help women to connect stronger in their faith, to connect stronger to their true identity so they can connect to their purpose and make a positive impact on this earth. And I am so excited that this year I am bringing to you a brand new talk series centered around Connected Women Win, where every week I am going to be bringing to you some phenomenal influencers, some change agents, people that are literally taking life and rolling with it. And y'all, it's going to be a good one. Today, I get the honor, the pleasure, and the privilege to interview Tonya Scott Williams. And we're going to be talking all about putting action behind your dreams. And y'all, when I read this book, I was like, oh my gosh, this woman has been stalking my life because I'm serious. Everything in there, I was like, she gets me. She actually gets me. I am here. Yes, I give myself permission. Tonya, hello.
Hello, Tasha. Hello. I am so happy to be with you this morning.
Thank you so much for being my first. Thank you.
I feel honored that you invited me to come on. I'm ready to do this, girl.
Yes, let's do it. Well, y'all, I met Tonya, I think it, 2 or 3 years ago? I can't remember. It seems like I've known you.
4 years
Yeah.
ago. Yeah.
But okay, seems like I've known you forever. And we met at a networking event and fireworks just sparked from there. So Tonya, tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Well, I am a voiceover talent. I provide a clear and compelling voice for digital and broadcast media. My business is called Rise Media Group. So I do voice, usually off-camera voice for audiobooks, for narrations, for documentaries. I do commercials for folks. My slogan is, I say it for you. So whenever you need a clear and compelling voice for your campaign or for your commercial, then you call on me. I'm also an MC and a speaker and an author.
Nice, nice. You are a woman of many, many talents. And I just marvel that about you. So how did you get started in everything that you're doing?
Well, I will give you the short version.
Okay.
I do have experience in broadcast journalism. Many years ago, I was a news director for an urban radio station here in Montgomery, WZHT 105.7 back in the day. So I've had a number of years experience there, plus at WBAS FM 90.7, I was a reporter there. So I do have experience in broadcast media, but I set that aside for a number of years, pursuing other things. I got married, I started a family, became a stay-at-home mom, a homeschool mom, and even got my licenses in financial services. I had my Series 6 and my life and health license, which was completely different than what I had done before.
Mm-hmm.
But all of that eventually rolled into me starting my business in 2018. And I think, like many people in my position, you have a dream that you kind of set aside because life sort of, moves you in a certain direction, but you never quite let it go. I had some personal things that happened in my life starting in 2017 that forced me to, I always say, old dreams began to unravel. And then there was a space that opened where I could have gotten lost. But by the grace of God, I looked at what I had in my hands. I looked at what my capabilities were, and then I just allowed those things to open doors for me. And the response from people who supported me in the public, it's been phenomenal. And I'd already in my professional life developed platforms and networks. So, it's not like I was here not doing anything. So all of those things came together to help create a nice launch for me in really pursuing my work as a voiceover professional.
So I heard you say that you started in 2018. That was last year.
Yes, girl, officially 2018. In fact, not even all of 2018. I mean, it was like
Wow.
fits and starts. My business officially launched, I suppose, maybe in July or so of
Okay.
2018.
Yeah.
Maybe August. I don't remember the date, but it wasn't that long ago.
Right. Congratulations to you.
Thank you
So
so much.
phenomenal. Because when we look at you, it looks like you've been in this forever, you know? So,
Yes, yes, and and I've relied on the skill sets that I've developed as a professional. So
Mhm.
I've done things before in the public space, but this is the
Right.
first time that I've ever done anything that belonged to me.
Oh, I love that. I love that. So, Tonya, what resources did you actually have to go after in order to start your business?
That is a great question. So, as I
Mhm.
said, in my professional life and what I've done before in financial services, I built up a network of folks. I was aware of resources here in the community, free resources here in the community,
Okay.
especially the Small Business Development Center at Alabama
Yes.
State University with Andrea Mosley. She is
Mhm.
fantastic. She's the director of the SBDC. She does an impactful presentation on how to get started in your business. Actually, predating my going to the SBDC, I had taken Entrepreneurial University from the Small
Okay.
Business Resource Center through the Montgomery Chamber with Lisa
Mhm.
McKinsey. So, although when I went through Entrepreneurial University, I was planning to do something else, but the basic business platform was already in place. So, I was able to rely on those things that I'd learned. I
Yeah.
just reached out to those people again, reconnected with them, and then just followed whatever plan that they had in terms of launching a business. And then the other part is, child, I just stumbled through it. I stumbled through. I've made mistakes. I mean, it is a work in progress, but it
Yeah.
is work, and I'm moving forward.
I love that. And I'm so glad that you said that, stumbling through it, because a lot of times people think when you set out to do a business or to pursue your dreams that it's going to be easy, that everything's going to fall in place. But you actually had some struggles along the way, even getting to that. Can you talk about some of those struggles?
Yes, I can. And in particular, the one that I think about is struggling with depression.
Hmm.
Something I used to shy away from talking about publicly. Nobody wants to hear about that, right? Well,
Right.
what I've learned is there's so many people out there who are functioning, but they are
Hmm.
depressed. And I
Right.
struggled with depression from the time I was a teenager. I might not have called it depression back then, but with therapy and having talked to professionals, I realized that it goes back to my childhood. I just learned how to just do it anyway, even
Yeah.
struggling with that. Well, some of the darkest seasons of my depression have been in the last few years.
Yeah.
In 2017, my personal life shifted. I'm separated now and walking through a divorce. And so you couple that with already being like on the walking through depression, it really tanked me.
Yeah.
But again, it was one of those moments where, now, mind you, it put me down.
I
I
gotcha.
struggled really every day to get up out of bed, to have a reason to live, to have a reason to just keep going. And that is real.
Hmm.
However, at the same time, I had a vision for my life. It's
Yeah.
something I always knew that I was capable of doing, and I'd
Mm.
always put it aside. And it was one of those moments when I thought, look, you ain't got nothing else to lose. You
Right.
know how to get up, you know how to start a business, you know how to connect with people, and just allow that to make room for you. Well, in 2017, I got a message that I'd been invited to be one of the keynote speakers for a conference that Cheyenne Webb Kreisberg did in 2017.
Yeah.
Literally,
Mm.
from that moment when I got that phone call that I was a keynote speaker, it's like just a series of things started happening. And a woman recommended me that I'd met at a networking event where my daughter was being honored, and she
Wow.
recommended me to be a speaker. So literally, 2017, that's when the seed was planted,
Yeah.
and I was still walking through this struggle, but I found a way to use the resources that I had to make, and I apologize for that, use the resources that I had
Hmm.
and my willingness, my desire to create
Yeah.
a life for myself to move forward.
Yeah. You said so much in that little bit of everything. 2017, you were struggling with it, but then there was hope on the other side of that. There was vision, there were dreams on the other side of that. So, Tonya, there might be women here that are watching that are in the same place that you were, and they're saying, I don't know. how I'm going to get through this. It's the beginning of the year where everybody is celebrating new year, new you, new beginnings. They're struggling on the other side of this. What advice would you give them?
Oh my gosh. Okay. I really appreciate that question.
Mm-hmm.
Please don't struggle alone.
Yeah.
There has to be, or at least, and I don't want to make assumptions, but perhaps there's one person in your life that you can think of who is trustworthy.
Yeah.
Reach out to him or her. Reach out to her and first of all, let them know that you're struggling. And
Yeah.
then let them know what it is that you envision for yourself. And even if it's just a seed, even if you aren't clear, even if you don't know how it's going to happen, talk to them. One of
Yeah.
the things I appreciate about you, Tasha, as we've gotten to know each other over the years, you used to say all the time, do it afraid.
Yes.
Listen, I was afraid of failing, afraid of making a fool of myself. I'm a woman of a certain age. I'm thinking, okay, surely the best years of my life are past. That's a lie. No, there's so much more that I have to offer. If you do it afraid, what will happen is you will discover that that energy, that fear will fuel your,
Yes.
your vision. So reach out to someone and let them know what your thoughts are. And he
Yeah.
or she, if they are worth their salt, they will begin to connect you with folks who can help you to get that dream off the ground. But don't
Absolutely.
sit on it. We literally have been given a window of time, a very small space to make the most of the opportunities that we have.
That's right.
Yeah, somebody that I listen to all the time, Lisa Nichols, says that you have 999 chances, and when you get to the what 1,000, guess what? You get to start all over again.
That's
Take a
it
chance.
right here. Yes.
It doesn't end. Keep going. Yes. So
Yeah.
that's what I would say to them.
I really appreciate you, Tonya, because you and I have had this conversation many times, and we know that there's professional women,
Yes.
that we know how to walk into rooms and look like we have it all together, and not saying that we don't,
Exactly.
we're multi-talented and all of this stuff. But I love that reminder: do it afraid, and I would even add, don't suffer in silence.
Yeah.
You've alluded to that already, but that's the power of connection right there.
Mhm.
Is you reached outside of yourself
Yes.
in order to keep going. You didn't sit there and wallow in it. That's powerful.
It is. And I am blessed to have an incredible sister circle.
Yeah.
They are amazing. We encourage and support each other in our visions, and we are all pursuing different things. But what
Mhm.
strengthens us is our ability to encourage each other when we are down, to
Yeah.
celebrate our wins.
Yes.
To offer guidance, sometimes to speak into each other's lives, sometimes to kick us in the pants when we speak. Listen, child, one of my sister friends yesterday introduced me to a new song. I played that thing 12 times yesterday, but
I
it was
love it.
important. It was necessary. And she's a
Mhm.
part of that circle of women that I know that I can turn to who will give me advice and I can offer the same thing to them. So that's also important. It doesn't have to be big. It could be one or two folks, but a like-minded group of folks who are moving forward. That's what you want to connect yourself with.
Yes, absolutely. Because if you hold on the other side of that are
Oh,
dreams. There are dreams ready for you to take action on. And you did that, Tonya, this year or last year. You created Marvelous Marva Had a Dream.
I
I am
did.
so excited about this, about the birth of this.
Yes.
So tell us about this year. What? Because you did this last year. You birthed this last year, but you
Yes.
said 2019 was the year of action. Talk
Yes.
about that for a minute.
Exactly. In my children's book, my first published book, Marvelous Marva Had a Dream, it was 10 years in the making. It was a part of me
Wow.
realizing what I had inside of me and how I wanted to pursue it, put it off, and finally began the work to get it published. So I had it published in the summer of 2018. It was the year of rising and dreaming for me,
Mhm.
rising from broken dreams, rising from dreams that had unraveled, things that I expected to be doing at a certain point in my life, letting those dreams die and
Yeah.
recognizing that I could dream new things for myself. Well,
Oof.
Marvelous Marva was a part of pulling that forward. It's a book about a little girl who follows her imagination wherever it leads. And what has been amazing about that book is, as folks have bought it for their nieces or nephews or the children that they have in their lives, what's happened is they've
Mhm.
come back to me in one way or the other and said, when have I given myself a chance to allow my imagination to lead me to new spaces? And
Mhm.
and it helps me to realize that the creator has more than one reason for doing a thing. So
Yeah.
for me, it was it was dreaming again, right? It was
Mm-hmm.
seeing myself do something new. And then what's happened is that has impacted other women, other people who read that book, giving yourself permission to dream again. Now,
Right.
Martha simply wanders through in a childlike way in different spaces that she imagines for herself. She
Yeah.
could see herself dining with kings and queens,
Mm. Wow.
swimming the world's oceans, just doing these incredible things that children do. Why can't we do that?
Yes.
Last year was rising from my circumstances and dreaming. Mind you, I'm still rising, child. The money has not hit like I wanted to yet, but the struggle is real, but I
I
am
hear you.
actively pursuing it. Well, in 2019, I said I'm going to figure out how to put more action behind that dream.
Yeah.
So for
Yeah.
me, that's in 3 stages. It's to see very clearly
Mm-hmm.
what it is that I'm wanting to do. Sometimes as talented people, as creative people, just like you can be overwhelmed with all kinds of ideas that
Mm-hmm.
muddy the waters and can take you in a number of directions. Well, this year I'm going to clarify the dream.
Come on
I'm
now.
going to believe in it even more than I did before,
Yes.
because I've lost hope a few times now. I mean, all these other things happen in my life. It was a struggle to hold on to what I believed I could do, and then
Mm-hmm.
finally to actively pursue that vision. And
Right.
that action comes through reading books by authors, people who are also in pursuit of great things in their lives,
Yeah.
going to conferences, expanding my circle of folks who are in similar situations. It means grabbing hold of wherever those resources are that are going to propel me forward,
Yeah.
actively pursuing it, creating a goal for myself. Last year, I did a vision board. I went to Alabama State University with Gina Duvernay. She hosted a vision board party in January of 2018. I
Uh-huh.
created a vision board for myself. Well, I'll do the same thing this year. Those will help me to stay on task with my goals if I can look at those every day. So that is the action behind it, and bringing people with me.
Come
Child,
on.
why go by yourself?
That's true.
With me. That's what I intend to do. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what's going to solidify your growth even more. Because when we can get beyond just chasing success and trying to leave a legacy, we
Yes.
will never, ever be without. Don't
Mhm.
you agree?
I agree with that. And Tasha, so many people poured into me. And,
Mm,
sometimes as leaders, and I sort of say that hesitantly, but really in the work that I've done, either as a homeschool mom or a partner in a business or whatever, I've had some sort of leadership role.
yeah.
Sometimes as leaders, we can feel alone, or we feel isolated in that work, or
Right.
whatever. We get stuck in our
No,
head,
that's true.
and we don't always feel as if well, sometimes we don't experience people coming alongside us, right? Because
Yeah.
we're usually the leaders. We are the
Right.
ones who are whatever. Well, people started coming alongside me in
Mm,
the most amazing ways last year. It
yeah.
was such a humbling experience.
Wow.
At
Mm.
my worst moments, don't get me started now. People poured into me in small and big ways, tangible ways. Y'all don't know, sometimes those things were the difference between me
Mm,
getting out of bed in the morning. Sometimes
mm.
people would send me messages at 5 o'clock in the morning because they knew that I would be up early,
Yeah.
encouraging me with scripture, encouraging messages. Sometimes somebody would give me the right hand of fellowship with a little bit of money folded up in it.
Love
I
it.
mean, come on now.
Love it.
I
Yes.
never expected that. And then
Yeah.
the mentors that I have a business mentor who the Lord put in my path just a couple of months ago, had been
Wow.
watching the work that I'd done and wanted to find a way to come alongside me. So yeah, I've never been alone. I've never
Yes.
been alone. People have poured into my life, and it is my goal to pour into others and to take folks with me on this ride.
Amen. Amen. And the higher on the journey that you go, the more support you need.
Yes.
I think sometimes in leadership, people think because they're constantly pouring in and they look like, well, you're the expert, you're the go-to person.
Right.
You still have to surround yourself with people even more than
Yes.
when you first started. So that's wisdom right there, Tonya. I
Yes.
love it. And I love that you named your business Rise Media Group.
Yes, yes, that is because that was the year of rising for me. As I thought about what I wanted out front, it was
Mm-hmm.
reminded that I could rise from my circumstances,
Yeah.
rise from this pain without anger, without blame, without owning my mistakes, because Lord knows I've made lots of mistakes, but
Mhm.
rising from those things and moving forward in my life in a meaningful way. I want to live a life of significance. That's
Yes.
what I want to do. And I want to rise in doing that. And I want other folks to rise with me.
That's powerful. And it's who you become in spite of it.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
powerful. So we
Yeah.
have a couple questions, Tonya, on the chat, and I love the engagement here. You mentioned a song earlier in the conversation. Rhonda Walker wants to know, what song was it?
Oh, Lord, let me see. What is it? Okay, don't laugh at me. For me, it's a new song. I just was introduced, Living My Best Life. I don't
Okay.
remember who sings it, but
Well,
let's
if you
just say,
remember.
listen to the clean version, Living My Best Life. That's what my girlfriend dropped on me yesterday. And
uh,
there are a couple of other songs that have really resonated with me. I've listened to some of Yolanda Adams' songs, but
uh-huh.
yesterday was Living My Best Life. So y'all go
Okay.
listen to it again.
Yeah, you've been warned.
That thing had me going yesterday, but I needed that. I needed that.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. And that whole Do It Afraid really resonated with a lot of people on here. I see Rhonda's posted it, Charmin's posted it, Sonia's posted it. Kim says, I love that. Clarify the dream, what you mentioned earlier. Lakeisha says, living my best life. Yes. Does anybody in the chat have any questions for Tonya? Any questions? And while we're waiting for people to put questions in, Tonya, what would you say for as we are putting action to your dreams? As you're moving forward this year, rising above, what would be the thing that you would recommend for a woman, like we mentioned, that is in that stuck place right now? What would be the one thing that you would say to her that you have to have this?
The one thing, that's a really good question.
Mm-hmm.
Um, hmm. Well, you have to have the willingness to fail. You
That's
have to
good.
be willing to fail.
Mm-hmm.
We often shortchange ourselves and sabotage ourselves because we're unwilling to fail. Now, for me, with what I've done in this last year or so, I host a talk show. I have a
Mm-hmm.
podcast. I do a lot of things in public spaces. I'm an MC,
Right.
so people see me in a public way. The fear of failing publicly used to just shut me down.
Yeah,
But I had to say, I will make mistakes.
that's
There will
good.
be missteps. I might even embarrass myself. I'm willing to take that chance. So you have to be willing to fail, and you have to be willing to say that you need help. We
Yeah,
don't know it all.
that's
We
right.
don't know it all. I don't care how many degrees you have or how many you don't have. You know something, right? But there's always something you don't know, and there are others who
Absolutely.
do. So ask for help.
That's good, Tonya. That's really good. And the whole purpose of this Connected Women Win, what does Connected Women Win mean to you?
Oh, girl. Okay, first of all, I love that concept that you put together.
Mm-hmm.
Connected Women, it always reminds me of Ladies Who Lunch. It
Okay.
reminds me of that space that you created several years ago. I say network, but it was simply women who would come together in a
Yeah.
meaningful way over
Yeah.
a meal. And through that relationship, genuine connections were made. I
Yeah.
can three or four women that I've connected with through that space that you
Yeah.
create. Those relationships, they've become a part of my life.
Yeah.
Through those connections, we've been able to encourage each other in whatever the work is that we do. We are each other's support
Absolutely.
networks. So,
Mm-hmm.
connected women winning means coming together with women actively pursuing what it is that we've envisioned for ourselves. And in doing that, in
Yeah.
that connection, we all win. We're
Yeah.
not competing against each other.
That's right.
We think that resources are scarce on this planet. You're gonna take my client or somebody's gonna take my idea. There are enough people in this world to buy what you're selling or to use the resources or the services that you provide.
That's right.
When you connect, you can get farther faster.
That's right. That's powerful. That's powerful. So, Tonya, tell people how they can purchase this book, Marvelous Marva Had a Dream.
Yes, you can go to my website, marvelousmarva.org. You can make your purchase there. I thank everyone who's bought my book in this last year, and I thank all of the new folks for coming alongside. And I especially thank those parents and godparents who sent me pictures of their precious children holding copies of their book, especially over the Christmas holidays. They have just lifted me in so many ways. So thank you so much for that. But yes, marvelousmarva.org to get your copy of my book. And guess what? Something new's coming in 2019.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yes, Marvelous Marva, the audio version is coming, and it'll also include my story. So I've never seen it done before, so I'm going to pursue something new with the audio book. So that'll launch in 2019.
Love it. And I got to brag on my sister for a minute. So Tonya not only has this powerful book for women and men of all ages, she is a phenomenal voiceover talent. She actually did the intro from my podcast, Connected Women Win. She's a powerful speaker. Tonya, when you did that for Cheyenne's conference, I couldn't attend because I was in Auburn. I was literally sitting in my car watching the live stream saying, yes, go Tonya, go. It was so powerful for you to stand there and tell your truth and encourage others along the way. You are a powerful woman. And y'all, so if you're looking for a speaker, if you were looking for voiceover talent, this woman has many talents. And if you want to be encouraged and you just need a little reminder to follow your dreams, she's got this book too. Tonya, I am so grateful for you. And the whole Connected Women Win movement couldn't be what it is without women like you.
Thank you.
So thank you.
Oh, you created the space, and I'm so grateful to you for that.
Thank you. Well, this has been a phenomenal conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching, if you enjoyed this, I cannot wait to introduce more people to you for this year. I am coming on every week, knock on wood, in 2019, and I want to introduce and connect you to more powerhouse people. People that are influencers, people that are change agents, people who are on the journey, because sometimes we need to see people on the journey, not just people who have arrived.
Yes.
Right? All right. So this is going to be every week, Connected Women Win. And I also will be doing live events for us to connect in person. This year, I'm doing a series of quarterly workshops called Maximize Your Existence. Because just like Tonya said, we have to put action behind our dreams. It's not enough just to hope. It's not enough just to sit back and say, I'm waiting on God. Because how many of y'all have used that as an excuse? I believe that God is saying, you maximize your existence. You maximize the very reason why you're here. So these quarterly workshops that I'm doing, the first one is February 2nd. It's going to be right here in Montgomery, Alabama. And I decided this space is going to be a safe space where women can come together to connect, to grow, to learn. I'm a firm believer in 90-day plans. I believe if we can be intentional and have strategies for not just business, because we know how to do business. A lot of times we know the resources to go to, but I believe we need personal growth plans. We need growth plans so that not only, so when we do succeed in the business and the dream, that we're not building it on a faulty foundation. So if you want to know more about this, you can go to my website, tashamscott.com/workshop, and you can get all the details for the next one coming up on February 2nd. Tonya, once again, I want to say thank you. Thank you so much. You encouraged me and so many others on here, and I'm just excited to continue watching your journey.
It's been a pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
All right, everybody. It's a wrap. Bye.
Maximize Your Existence with Tasha M. Scott. With only a $67 admission fee, you will be involved with a live workshop with Tasha M. Scott, renewing your hope and your purpose in your life. You will walk away with several resources, including Tasha's combo book. Join us Saturday, February 2nd, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. for your chance to maximize your existence.